When you go to prison, you lose your rights, including, of course, the right to vote. At least, that's how it always used to be, until a recent judgment from the European Court told the British government that we have to give prisoners the vote. Now, the reaction to that from David Cameron, our Prime Minister, was to say that it made him sick to the bottom of his stomach, but because we're part of the European Union, we have to give in and allow prisoners to vote. Frankly, that isn't good enough. We need a British Prime Minister that stands up and says, let's govern our own country. This case came about because John Hurst, a prisoner, a man who killed his landlady with an axe and was given a sentence for manslaughter, took a case to the European Court. Just have a look at this footage of John Hurst and ask yourselves, do you really think a man like this should have the same democratic rights that you do?
I've got the bottle of champagne. Prisoners have now got the vote, which I'm really chuffed about. 5 years since I won the case in the European Court of Human Rights, and I'm now going to celebrate for the 75,000 prisoners who will be getting the vote. That includes murderers, rapists, paedophiles. All of them will be getting the vote because it's their human right to have the vote.
Do you think prisoners should get the vote?
No, I don't.
No.
If you've committed a crime, you're not entitled to it.
Absolutely.
You're not entitled to the same privileges as everybody else. Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. They're in prison for a reason. Part of the prison sentence should be the lack of facilities to vote and the usual things that we take for granted as law-abiding citizens.
I'd say yes. I think every human rights, really, everyone deserves the vote, yeah.
Yes.
You do?
I do.
No, obviously they've done something in the first place in order for them to be in prison in the first place. So they have committed some sort of crime. So in a certain way, some sort of right should be taken away from them.
Once they've served their term, I think they should be allowed to vote once they enter society. But as they're incarcerated, no, I don't believe that they should be given that right.
Definitely not. They're in prison for a reason.
I'm open-minded on that. I don't think one way or another, actually.
Yes.
You do?
Yeah.
Yes and no. I think it depends what you have done and what you're in prison for.
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think they should.
No. They're being penalised for something they've done wrong, so why should they get a say in what goes on in the rest of the countries?
So somebody, for example, that had killed his landlady with an axe, do you think that person should get the vote?
No, because they've given away their human rights already.
Prisoners shouldn't get the vote. When you go to prison, you forfeit your democratic rights. But the problem is, we're being told we have to do this by a European court. Our three old parties have all decided that Europe should now make our laws. Well, it's high time we had a referendum so that we can decide who governs Britain.